guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Lauren. Thank you so much for watching. Welcome back to Scent Sunday. Today I'm really excited because I thought I would share with you all of the dents in my collection. So this video is definitely inspired by the Show Me Your Dent tag. This was created by Yummy411. That's her channel name. I will leave her channel link down below and the video that she created if you want to check it out. But basically I'm going to be showing you all the perfumes that I have a sizable dent in. You know, seeing that progress, seeing how much you've used out of a bottle really shows how much you love a fragrance, how much you're actually using that fragrance. It's one of those ones you're reaching for, especially depending on how big your collection is. That dent can definitely show that you've given some significant love to those specific perfumes. So it's kind of going to be a bit of a favorites video. I'm sure you've seen a lot of these on my channel, but I thought it'd be fun just to talk about the ones that I have used a lot and, you know, just reiterate that. I talk a lot about new ones I'm testing, samples I'm testing, maybe full-on fragrance houses, and I love those. I'm going to keep doing those, but sometimes it's nice to kind of just come back, get grounded, and, you know, if you really want to know the ones I'm using like all the time, like, you know, I kind of have to pull myself away from. These are definitely them. Some of these are newer and some of these are actually a bit older, and so that can be maybe some of the reason that I have the use that I do, but I'm excited. It's a lot of perfumes. I want to keep it a little bit shorter and sweeter to each of these. I hope you enjoy the video. Yeah, I'm just gonna get into it. Let's go. First, this is no surprise. This was my absolute love, my pride and joy all winter and fall time. This is Vanilla Sky. This is really what showed me vanilla doesn't have to be boring, okay? I just feel like vanillas seem so goddamn boring, and I remember thinking that, but vanillas are beautiful and you can just shut up. Old me can shut up. Get a life. This vanilla to me is so perfect. I feel like at Sephora, it's like between this vanilla and the Seven Virtues Vanilla Woods. Oh, and Kayali. Kayali's is really good. I don't know what I would pick between them. We'll talk about that in a second. But I love this vanilla. So this one, the main notes on it are caramelized cedar. There's a cappuccino note. Obviously the vanilla in here. It's just a beautiful gourmandy vanilla. It definitely has more of those foodie aspects to it. It's super sweet, so comforting. I love wearing this cuddled up at night. I think you could wear this all year round. Maybe on really hot days it wouldn't be good, but definitely at night, you know, when it's a little bit cooler, or again, hanging around the house, or even just if you're gonna be in air conditioning, I think you could still do it, you know, like I would still do it, I'm pretty sure. It's just a beautiful scent. It's definitely my favorite scent from Skylar, and I think I have all their perfumes. Like I have all of them. I have a video that I did talking about the different Skylar perfumes, so I'll leave that link down below. It doesn't include the newest Coconut Cove. They've come out with also, the most recent one is like a honeysuckle one. They sent me that. Not my thing, but I think other people would like it. But Vanilla Sky, guys, get on it. It's so good. We'll keep talking about vanillas for a second because a lot of these perfumes, especially ones that I got more recently, do skew a little bit warmer, gourmand, vanilla based, that type of stuff, because it's what I've been into, and especially during the colder months, what I was into. But I want to talk about Philosophy Fresh Cream Warm Cashmere. This is another beautiful vanilla scent. Another one that is more foodie smelling. This has that cream note. You can smell the cream, you can smell that lactonic thing going on, but there's almost this like burnt sugar note as well, almost like the top of creme brulee, like you're cracking it open, the sugar crystals. I don't want to say toffee. It's not toffee, but it has just something extra. It's so good. It's very distinct, so I could see people not liking it, but I have a decent dent going on. I have definitely used it, but that's after using the half ounce. So I bought this in a set from Ulta, and so it had like the mini, and it had this one. I went through the mini. I've already gone through quite a bit of this, and then I bought a jumbo of this because I love it that much. This is a great one. I love wearing this to bed, so Sam kind of associates it with me wearing it to bed. But a beautiful vanilla. I will say both of these vanillas, you know, vanilla can go so many ways. Again, I thought it was boring. What was I thinking? But it really can. It can be floral, it can be powdery, it can be like go into cacao and chocolatey and caramely. Again, so many ways. But I would say both of these more lean, again, foodie, maybe depending, like it's definitely not a floral powdery type vanilla. So I would say they can kind of lean more Bath and Body Works-esque I mean, I don't want to go there because I don't like every vanilla at Bath & Body Works, but I would say that just to kind of give you an idea of where they are. Absolutely love this one though. I really want to try just Fresh Cream and see how that one is. I do have the Fresh Cream, the suede one, and it's not as good. It's not as good. Out of the two, highly suggest this one over that. That one doesn't have the distinct like creme brulee burnt sugar cream note in the same way, so it's not my favorite. The warm cashmere version outranks that one by far. And I think this is like one of the only perfume empties like I've ever had that's not a sample size, like, you know, that's like a decent amount, which I think is saying something and like feels like an accomplishment. Let's talk about a few that are a little bit older. So I have these Dents because, you know, back in the day, I didn't have a million perfumes, so they were signatures. They're what I wore. I have two different Jo Malones. This first one is Blackberry Bay. I have used about half of this, and this I've repurchased at least once. I think this might be the second one I bought, and I bought the big one because I had just like the 1 ounce before. I do really love this. I definitely think my taste has changed in perfume a bit. It's a very fresh kind of green perfume, but in a really nice way. There's something almost kind of citrusy about it. When I smell it now, it smells a little bit metallic, a little bit sharp, in a way that I don't love as much as I obviously used to, but it's nice. And I feel like it's, okay, if Molecule 01 is like woody, this is like the green version of that. Like I feel like if you like those, you know, like ISO-E super type of scent, this is like the, to me, organic version of that. I don't even know if that makes sense, but there's something about them that are similar, but I really love this. There's no sweetness to this. It's just fresh, clean, crisp in a really nice way. It's still great. I am happy to have it, but I know that if I smelled it today, I wouldn't go and like purchase it. I wouldn't. The other one that I have is one that the Dent is pretty, I mean, I feel like this is pretty good because this one's pretty strong. This is from Jo Malone. It's the English Oak and Redcurrent. I bought this when this came out, so that's like 2017 maybe. I don't know, it's been a while. This is, again, I'm surprised I loved this as much as I did when it came out. I'm gonna read you some of the notes. Red currant in the top, rose and oak. Like what? You can smell the rose a lot. It's still woody though. I feel like overall this kind of dry wood is coming through. It reminds me of like Over the River and Through the Woods. Like that's the song that goes to this fragrance to me. It's very like about to be holidays, but maybe it's still kind of October, you know? So like the weather's cooling down. You're getting a little witchy, you know? I don't know. That's the vibes for me on this one. It's almost incensey. It's definitely, I feel like a more unique one for Jo Malone's line, you know? I'm surprised I like this. I can remember specifically wearing this and one of my friends complimenting me. So like I always think of that. She's like, you smell so good. So I like that. I associate it with scarves though because of that as well. Definitely not one I reach for, especially too when I think of woody fragrances that I just love, which woody is something I really enjoy. This doesn't come up at the top, so I don't know. I feel like this is gonna be here a long time just hanging out in my collection. Another one I don't think I would repurchase, but definitely has that Dent going. And I feel like back in the day, I just like loved Jo Malone. I mean, I think a part of it is that was a big brand that a lot of influencers talked about when I was watching videos in like 2012, 2013, 2014. Like, you know, all the rich, cool girls, Jo Malone was what they got, you know? So I think that I had that association. So I always felt like so cool getting Jo Malone. And now I just feel like I do like some of the fragrances, but it's not quite the fragrance house for me like it used to be. There's so many other houses that I just line up with way more than I do them. So those are my Jo Malones that are oldies, and that's why they have those dents in them, baby. They got some big dents, but that took years. Let's talk about my absolute favorite, #1 recommendation. You guys already know, Baccarat Rouge 540. This is not the extrait. I do want to get the extrait. This scent is so good. I know the hype is so big, and like you've heard me hype it up, you've heard everyone hype it up, like I get it, and it's so goddamn expensive, and I hate that. I hate that for all of us, but I do think that it's absolutely divine, and I bought this in September. Okay. I don't know what, you know, what makes me think I can just spray the shit out of this, but I do. It's like if I'm gonna buy it, I do feel like I'd rather wear it than savor it. I wanna wear it. I want it to be something I enjoy. I want it to have scent memories. I want that, you know, and I know a lot of people talk about this being a beast and staying on them forever. Okay. Can I get your skin? Can I get your chemistry? Because it does not do that to me. I do not feel like this stays on my on my skin or stays on me that much. Like, I definitely can't smell it. I'd never get compliments on this. I don't know. Actually, I did once. I did get someone. Someone was like, do you have perfume on? Because I think it's you. You smell so good. What is it? So one compliment, but I mean, it wasn't like a full day. I sprayed it. We went out. And that's what happened, you know, and then I got the compliment. It wasn't like, I've been out all day, and then, you know, at the end of the night, I'm feeling worn down, but then someone compliments me, and then it's like, picks my spirits up. No, that was not the situation. Anyway, this has a beautiful, like, balsam, like, fir note in it. It's, like, ambery. It's hard to explain this fragrance. It's airy and sweet without feeling juvenile. I don't know how this was made. It is kind of an anomaly, but it's so good, you guys. It's so good. Like, seriously, guys, it's so good. Highly suggest. You guys probably already know that. I probably didn't describe it great, but you've heard about it. I just know you already have. Just, you know, go smell it in a Bloomingdale's or something. Spray it on your skin. You will most likely love it, but you might be someone who hates it. And in that case, I'm sorry you can't have the joy. I'm sorry. I'll mention now though that I do have a dupe of it. I did a whole video duping Baccarat, like talking about, well, different dupes, but Baccarat was included in that. And so the Dossier one's my favorite one I've ever come across. There was a point in time where I really was like dedicated to finding Baccarat dupes. And I gave up on that once basically I got the Ambery Saffron from Dossier. I just felt like this was the best one. Why keep going? This one will suffice. So this I got at Black Friday and I've used that much of it. So I do tend to spray this and this. Sometimes I feel like that's rude, like, wow, really? You're gonna like have this expensive thing and then, you know, spray over top of it this like cheaper version of the same, like, what are you doing? But I do that because I feel like sometimes this I can smell a little bit longer. I'm not gonna lie. I just think it's a great dupe, and sometimes this is what I'll use to mix. So if I just want to use Baccarat as a mixer, because I do like to do that, just the way the amber plays on my skin is so good. I love it. I really love By the Fireplace and Baccarat together. Divine. You guys have to try it. You have to try it. Anyway, so I've used a shit ton of the dupe also of Baccarat. Like, I'm obsessed with it. Speaking of By the Fireplace, this is the mini that I got. It's a 1 ounce, and I bought this, I think, in November, maybe. It's almost gone. I do have the full-size bottle ready to go, and this is a smoky fireplace chestnut marshmallow scent. So it's woody, it's smoky, but it has this beautiful sweetness coming up underneath, and it's like, the sweetness is so rich. It's balanced so perfect. It's balanced so perfect. I love a smoke note. I like a leather note, but I really do find that I enjoy them when they're balanced with some sweetness. I mean, it can just be perfection. And so By the Fireplace has been something I remember smelling this back in the day and being like, oh, it smells like burnt hot dog skin. Like, I don't like that. Okay, Pass Me again. Don't listen to her. Don't listen to Pass Me, because this shit is so good. I am obsessed with this. In my top 3. Baccarat's probably in my top 3 too, so I don't know what else is going up there, but these are definitely by far my 2 favorite perfumes, I would say, in my collection that, you know, if I had to like, I'm not gonna get rid of anything in my collection, but I could wear them every single day and just be like obsessed with myself. Anyway, this smells so great. I feel like it lasts a pretty long time on my skin and on my clothing as well, so that's great. But I was gonna say that I've talked a lot about how this is just like a fall fragrance and winter, like cold weather, but I'm thinking we can do it in the summer. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for it. I fucking love it that much. I'm just gonna see, because it might be an all year round one for me and I don't give a fuck, you know? I might do it. So love that. I mean, the Dent is real. The Dent, almost a full ounce in like, I don't know, half a year. I think that's pretty decent considering the perfumes I have. Another oldie, let's talk about this. This one's definitely not just for my use. Sam loves this as well, but this is Molecule 01. This is probably the 3rd one, the 4th one. I mean, this was a scent that we just both loved. So for a long time, this out of like the, I don't know, 10, maybe 12 perfumes that I had, this is the one we both wore. We wore this all the time. I do kind of associate this with Sam a little bit more now, but this, if you don't know, is just ISO-E Super, which is a molecular like synthetic scent. It has a woodiness to it. It's just so addictive to me, this scent specifically. The way it wafts through the air, the sillage of it is so good. I can tell when anyone in a room like where I'm like, I can like point it out. It makes me feel like, you know, the animalistic side of you comes out when you can smell this. I love it. I also love Ambroxan too, is another one of like the molecules that I really enjoy. Isoe Super, definitely something I really enjoy. I'm gonna give you a little, if you're looking for something new to explore, I know that's not this video, we're talking about like old loves, but Cheeky Smile from Juicebox. I got a sample of that because I've been wanting to try it for forever. It's next on my list. I'm probably gonna have it by the next time we talk, okay? I fucking love it. It's so good. Anyway, love this. This is kind of expensive. I think, you know, some people are like, it's just a molecule. I don't know, I like it. So I will probably always have that in our collection. It's a great one to layer. If you want something that's woody and unisex and, you know, kind of a clean, crisp, you know, put together kind of scent, not like girly, you know, I would try this out. It works for literally everyone. And it's one of those ones that sometimes you can smell it, sometimes you can't. So you can go a little nose blind to it, but I promise you later you will just get random whiffs of it. You didn't even know it touched that surface, but you can smell it later on. I'm gonna talk about another little guy. This is the Kayali Vanilla 28. So I know this dent doesn't look impressive because it's really just, I think, what, a half ounce or something? It's not even half, it's 10 mils. This is only a 10 mil little bottle. I have to say, I love that they do the bottles though. They're so cute, but the Vanilla 28 from Kayali is as good as everyone says. And again, I like something a little more foodie, a little more bakery vanilla, a little more like, let's eat it. This one has that powderiness, a bit of a floralness, but it has also the brown sugar. So that brown sugar note gives it that richness. And I have to say, if you're just looking for a perfume, okay, I don't pick my perfumes based on attracting someone else or like necessarily to feel sexy, like to someone else, like they'll smell me and be like, man, she's sexy. I don't give a fuck about that, probably because I've been married like almost 10 years. But this one in my polls, if I had to have a poll for, you know, having guys smell the different perfumes that I have, the guys like this, okay? So if you're looking and you're just like, I love it, like, you know, it's something you want, I get it. I can understand it. You want to smell good. They're gonna love it. They're gonna love this on you. And this smells so good. It's a nice, soft, powdery vanilla with a richness still. Warning though, I will say, this, when I spray this, if I smell in, like breathe in my nose a little too fast after spraying it, burns the shit out of my nose. It burns my nose so bad. I'm like, what the hell's going on? What chemicals am I breathing in? But I mean, it smells amazing. It's just, I wish it didn't burn. Love this though. Absolutely love it. I got a steal of a deal on this on Ipsy. One of you guys let me know, so thank you so much. Like literally, that Ipsy was having a bundle on their site with the 50 ml bottle of this, which retails for like 80 bucks and it's almost always sold out on Sephora. But it was a $50 bundle with this perfume. So that alone, the savings on just getting a 50 ml of this for $50 instead of the 80, great deal. But then it also had 2 different hand creams from different brands that I enjoy, one from Tokyo Milk, one from Jahara. It had a few other like smaller perfumes in it. It was like a crazy bundle. It was like, what the heck's going on here? So I snatched that up. So I am ready to go. I'm gonna work on this and enjoy it. I do like having the little travel, you know, you could just kind of pop it with you, spray a little in the bathroom. Love this though. And I know the dent seems insignificant, but it's so good. And the hype is real with that one. Let's do another older perfume. This one I didn't get that long ago. It's from Aesop. And so I have a dent to like here on it. And that may not seem significant, but I think it's quite a bit. This is the Tacit perfume. This was my favorite, and when I bought this at the time, they only had 3. I sat on wanting this for years. I wanted this for so long, and I think this is like $120 maybe, and I thought that was so expensive, and I'm not saying it's not, but again, being in the perfume world, there are perfumes I wish could be only $120, you know what I mean? So although like, you know, objectively $120 is a lot of money, for different perfumes, you know, it can be way more than that. Anyway, this I really liked at the time, and there's just been this moment. Now all I can smell on this is licorice. Licorice, I'm like, what the fuck? I just bought a licorice perfume? What's up with that? When I first bought it, I thought it was really nice, unisex, herbaceous, because this has basil in it, and I think that basil is really, it's really doing some things. I haven't been reading notes a ton on this. I hope I've been popping them up from Fragrantica just so you can kind of have some things, like in case I'm not doing a good job. But I feel like I've talked a lot about a lot of these, so I didn't want to bore us with just reading notes. This says yuzu citruses in the top, basil in the mid, and vetiver and cloves in the base. The basil, baby. Basil just can really, yeah. It's not bad, don't get me wrong. I just am like, the way my scent, you know, preferences has changed really shows in this one. And I'm surprised at how fast, because I did not buy this that long ago. I bought this before I got super into perfume, but maybe the beginning of that year. So still at this point, probably a year and a half ago at most, I bought this. Yeah, not one I'm really spraying a ton on me anymore. I don't know, it just changed to licorice only. And not that I hate licorice, but just a pure licorice scent. It's a moment. It's a moment. Of course, Cloud has to be in here. I really love Cloud. I have a decent dent going on. This is the big bottle, so I think that's pretty, I feel good about, you know, what's going on here. I definitely prefer Cloud regular over the Cloud 2.0, just as an update in case you wanted to know. I love this fragrance. It's so sweet. It is to me, I get that it's similar to Baccarat. It's funny, I wore this last night, kind of cuddling, going to bed type thing. And Sam came in and was like, ooh, what'd you spray, Baccarat? And I was like, no, Cloud. And we've had a whole discussion many a time. I'm like, does it smell like Baccarat? Does it not? You know, because Sam's now into the perfumes as well. He is his own little mixologist when he puts on his stuff. It's so fun. I love it. Some notes on this. This is like whipped cream. I think there's a lavender note. There's a coconut note. It's that same airy kind of sponge sugar type of thing like Baccarat has. I do find this one to be sweeter. And there's like this, they both have a medical note. There's something in Baccarat to me that I don't want to say it has something savory, but it's probably the saffron or something in there with Baccarat. But I'd like to describe it sometimes. I don't know how else to put this, but some perfumes feel like cookies that don't have salt in them. You know what I mean? Like Comptoir Sud Pacifique, I'm talking about you. You know, sometimes like those fragrances, so sweet. They're so like what feels like maybe a little imbalanced, you know? Like, yeah, they're cookies without salt. It's like you think that a cookie shouldn't have the salt on it, but when you add the salt, the magic happens, you know? And so what I'm saying is I love this perfume, but in the difference between this and Baccarat, I would say that this is like the cookie has less salt. The cookie has less salt, so it's a little bit just more on sweet, a little lactonic. It's nice. I love it. I really do, but I don't think it's a dupe for Baccarat. I think that it can be similar-ish, and obviously price point is so different, but yeah, I like it on its own. I think it's good on its own. Okay, moving on from that, let's talk about Xidolo's Love and Crime. This one I did buy used, but it was basically brand new, and so I feel like anything you're seeing here, that's all me. And I know that doesn't look like a lot. It's a small bottle, but this is a potent perfume. And so I only need like 3 sprays of this every time I use it. That's it. And let me tell you, I'm a sprayer girl, okay? Like, let's do this. You saw Baccarat. I like to spray my shit, okay? This is a beautiful, kind of a powdery vanilla gourmand fragrance. It is really good. It also has some cacao in it. I believe it has maybe some cloves, something spicy as well. Let me look at the notes. I definitely smell something spicy. Mandarin pink pepper. So there's pink pepper, sugar, star anise, floral notes in the mid, and then vanilla and cacao. This is a beautiful gourmand if you're really into those sweetie vanillas. You want something creamy, dense. This one's beautiful, and the longevity on this is amazing. So you don't always get this. A lot of people compare this to Lyra from Xerjoff, and a lot of people also talk about this being like a lemon pound cake type of scent, and I get that. I do, but I just find it to be a more complex vanilla-based thing. So it's heavily vanilla, but you have the cacao in there. You have the spices. The star anise is adding something. The pink pepper is adding something. But it's very sweet. I mean, it has literally notes of sugar in it, but I find it rich and dense, and it doesn't feel super juvenile, but I would say it's kind of the step up. If you have both of these and you like them, maybe try this. You know, like maybe this is a place you could go. It's a little more complex. Like these pretty much stick to the vanilla. Maybe fresh cream, you know, has the cream note. It's a little bit different, but this is kind of the next step up where you want it in the same family. You want it to be very heavily vanilla, but maybe you're ready to branch out a little bit more. This is so good on my skin. I really enjoyed having this during the colder months, and I do think this one maybe is more of a colder month thing, or inside, like definitely not in heat. I would not want to wear this, but beautiful, beautiful, really am happy to have this in my collection. So yeah, it's a potent little guy. I really want to try the scent Rider from them. I think they only have 4 scents, and that's one I want to get a sample of and just see how it is, because it's the only other one that seems like I might like it. I have 6 more perfumes to talk about. I'm not gonna lie, the Dent isn't too, you know, heavy. Like, let's get real. But I am, I guess, maybe surprised or really happy with either the amount of time I've had it and the dent that I've made, or with just kind of the scent it is. It's just not one that I would reach for all the time. So for it to even have the dent that it does, that's pretty, you know, significant, something to celebrate. So first I want to talk about Sci Fi from Ellis Brooklyn. It's between this and Après from them that are my favorites. I'm thinking about doing a video talking about the house in general, giving my thoughts. I think I have a sample or a bottle of every scent that they have, so I might do that. But this is a really beautiful citrus tea vanilla scent. So it's definitely vanilla based, but there's something so bright about it. The way the citrus is in here, the way the tea note is in here, and I feel like this is if one of my vanillas and like Blackberry and Bay had a baby. Like, you know, it's something like that. There's almost something kind of creamsicle about this to me, but the way that the citrus plays is still brighter than that. It's not completely overpowered by the vanilla. They don't come together like that. You really smell the citrus and then you smell the vanilla. You know, they aren't combined. It's really beautiful. I think it's such a nice one for spring. Definitely a way to wear a vanilla-based perfume for me in the springtime. I'm surprised at how much I like this, and that's why I'm surprised to have like the dent that I do in it, because it is so happy. It's just a distinct feeling with this perfume. Like, you're ready to take on the world with this. You know, you're happy, you're cheerful, birds are chirping, little worms are coming up and just saying hi to you from like, you know, your little garden. You're like, oh, hey, I know the day's gonna be good. Hope you don't get eaten by a bird, you know? Like, it's a happy, positive vibe. And maybe that's saying something where I'm like, there's only so many days you can wear a happy, positive fucking perfume, but I'm just saying, I'm surprised. I'm surprised by how much I've used it, but I do really like it, and I find it quite unique as well, so I really like Sci Fi. I know that's not a lot of people's favorite from the line, but it's the one that really spoke to me the most before Après came out. So Ellis Brooklyn is a weird house for me. Like, I want to like it so much, but I'm surprised I don't like more, honestly. Another one that the dent, again, I'm really happy with the dent I have going in this because I just got this one, but I think it's gonna get even more of a dent too going into spring and summer. This is I Am Trash from Etat Libre d'Ange. I got this sent to me from Twisted Lily. I'm an affiliate with them, you guys know that. And if you want to shop, of course, as always, I'll have my code down below. You can save 10%, but this was on my list. I had sampled this, I think, through Scentbird or something, and I really do like this. This is, again, kind of falls in line with the Jo Malone. It's in that family, so I'm trying to let you know, like, in case you like this, maybe try this out. But this has an apple note in it. It also has some rose in it. Has the ISO-E Super, I believe, in here as well, so that molecule scent. And there's something about the freshness of this while it still has that bit of sweetness that I really like. I find that the rose in here almost adds something peppery as well, so it's just really refreshing. It is a bite into an apple on a spring day with those woody notes, though, of the ISO-E Super, which I like definitely let you know I love. I do wish that the longevity on this one was better. I don't find that it lasts as long as I want it to, even for having some of those notes in it. I think there's some sandalwood in here too. It's just a really fresh one. So I really love this. Probably one of my favorites from the Etat Libre d'Ange line, and I've tried a lot from them. I have like the big sampler from them, and this by far is probably my favorite one. Yeah, they have some interesting, unique scents though. Really happy with the dent going in that, and I just know it's gonna get even bigger. My next this is the most surprising perfume. I would have never thought I would like this. This is the Viktor and Rolf Ruby Orchid. Again, I haven't had this long, but the fact that I have the dent that I do in here is just like almost baffling. I'm not the biggest fan of Flower Bomb in general, like the original scent. I never had that. I remember back in the day when it was like the most popular. Anything to me, I thought it was so strong and too much, you know? I've definitely warmed up to it more now, but the Ruby Orchid, it's coming through with so much vanilla bean. It's like red orchid vanilla bean or something in here. The vanilla in this is addicting, dude. The vanilla in here makes me want to go back and smell myself so much. I love to just sniff it. It's so good. This has a peach note in it. It has like this vine note in it. But you know what? There's something almost spicy in here, and it really only lists those 3 notes on Fragrantica. I went to their website to be like, bitch, tell me what else is in here, you know? Because you cannot tell me. I think there's patchouli in here, and it would make sense. There's patchouli in the original Flower Bomb, but there's something kind of spicy. I think it might be partially the green note from like the vine, but I think it's also the patchouli. I do. And the way that it mixes with the vanilla, you guys know, like patchouli's not really a scent that I love, but when it's mixed with vanilla correctly, like to me correctly, magic can happen. Sexy magic. I don't think this has to be just like a nighttime fragrance, but it's definitely sexy. This is sexy, daytime, nighttime, anytime, very good. Like what the fuck? I would never have bought this. This was sent to me and I was like excited to try it out because it's the new, like a newer one, but I wasn't expecting to like love it. Like I was like, oh cool, like that's so insane that they're gonna send this to me. And I didn't realize how expensive this is. Viktor and Rolf is very expensive for the perfumes, but man, I like reach for this just because I like the scent. Like it's good. It's good. Last three, let's talk about another replica. This is Autumn Vibes, and this dent isn't nearly as big as the By the Fireplace. So, you know, you can really tell me and Sam love this one. When he's in his mixologist mood, he'll mix Autumn Vibes a lot of the time with a lot of different things, sometimes By the Fireplace. He mixed recently Greenwich Village. What did he do? It was so good. He's been mixing like the sweeties with the woodsies. Oh, it's so good. Anyway, more than anything, Autumn Vibes is really his scent. And so, yeah, I will probably purchase the big one at some point, but the 1 ounce is working great for us right now. And since it's mostly for him, you know I'm not gonna be in there with my monster self like spraying me down. I think that will last us longer than I think. A few notes on scent. This is a dry wood, forest and fall scent. So to me, dry crunchy leaves, a little bit of dirt. I'm like not even spraying these. I just realized like I can just smell them off the top. Oh, it's so good. There's something kind of almost cinnamony to me. I pick up on that. There's this maple note in it as well. And they show like a maple leaf, but there's like something sweet coming from that to me as well. So it's not overall sweet, like it's really not sweet. Very dry wood. You gotta like woody stuff for this. I know that when this came out, a lot of people were disappointed, but damn, I love this. And one of our friends, because naturally when all of our friends get together, I'm like, okay, here's the bucket of perfumes we're all gonna smell. One of my friends, they bought this. They were like, ooh, that's the one we like. So I don't know, I like it. Other people around me like it. I think it's good. I think it captures autumn vibes for sure. Last two, this is a more recent, very expensive one to my collection. I bought this for myself for my birthday. It was my birthday present to me. I'm so happy. That's how I feel about this. Very Emperor's New Groove moment. But this is Fragrance de Bois Minuit Demi. This is in collaboration with Demi Rawling, and oh my gosh, you know, all that aside, the smell on this is divine. It is, to me, I pick up something caramely. I definitely get that. It's powdery and spicy. In the top, there's like a pimento note. There's cardamom, so you definitely get those spices, but you get almost something like very spicy because pimento, it adds something different than like a cooking spice like the holidays or something. Those together, such a beautiful opening. The caramel in this, there's like tobacco, it gets rich, and I'm so surprised every time I look at the notes, there's so many rich notes in there, and I get it, but this has such an airy quality to it still. Like the sweetness in here reminds me of how the sweetness in Baccarat is, where it doesn't feel heavy, it doesn't feel dense, it doesn't feel like it's gonna weigh you down. It's sophisticated to me. It is sexy, sophisticated, sweet. And that I feel like is tough to do. It's so sexy, so good. This is one I love spraying on myself. And again, I only got this more recently, like end of January. So for it to have that big of a dent, this is a pretty big bottle. It's pretty significant. It's a very expensive perfume. It's one that, because it's a collab, I'm like, if they ever stop making this, like, it's so expensive, but I would buy a backup. I think I would buy a backup. Like, that's how much I fucking love it. I went through a 8 ml decant of this before I bought it because it is a pricey perfume, and I really wanted to know if I was gonna spend the money on it, that it was going to be something that was going to be worth it, that I was going to be spraying it and have a dent in it, you know? And man, oh man, it's so good. Still obsessed with it. It's one that I think you could wear all year round. Like, again, maybe not on the hottest day, maybe not, but like on a summer day when I'm mostly inside, I could totally wear this, and I'm going to, and I love it. Highly recommend sampling this one, so good. And last, this one's kind of hard to show you, and I think there are probably some other perfumes that have a pretty significant dent, but you know, the bottle's opaque, so I can't really show it, so there's definitely that at hand potentially. But this is from Mancera. It's Instant Crush, and I really love this fragrance too. I think one of the best ways, maybe you can see some of the dent there going, but I feel like that's pretty significant. I think here it would be like to here. you know? And again, it's a pretty big bottle, 120 ml, 4 ounces. This also has this kind of powdery, spicy opening, kind of like Minuit Demi. Like there's something familiar in the way that they like open to me. This has a ginger note. There's saffron in here. I believe this has patchouli in it as well. This gets compared to Baccarat a lot, and I definitely think it's one, like, if you like Baccarat, maybe try this out. It's not the same. Like the dry down, the sillage, I think is more similar to Baccarat than, again, that kind of powdery opening. But I find as this wears on my skin, more and more this kind of sweetness comes out of this perfume. That is so beautiful. This has like amber in it. I think that amber, again, just plays really nicely, and I love this perfume. I'm so glad I have it in my collection. I think this is one that I would wear more in the colder months. I think that's where it really shines, but it's a beautiful fragrance, very sexy as well, but still appropriate for daytime. Like nothing I wouldn't wear all the time, but I do get something kind of sexy with that spicy ginger. It's so good. And I really like how, again, that sweetness kind of develops throughout my wear time of it. That's when it really just drives home how great it is. So those are all the perfumes that have dents in. I know it was a long one, but it was kind of fun just to rave about the perfumes that I know very well. I know all of these so well because I've worn them so many times in so many ways. I know how long they wear. They're ones I know like the back of my hand. I got those dents in them. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed seeing some of my favorites, really, the perfumes that actually get the use out of my collection. I know so many of you guys have been getting into perfumes, which I'm sorry. Like part of me is like, I'm really sorry because it might be expensive, but also I'm like so excited for you, and I wish we could just like hang out and I could bring you my bucket of perfumes and we could just sniff stuff. And I know like at the beginning, it can be really exciting to try a bunch of stuff and all that. I'm talking about new stuff and you're putting new stuff on your list, but depending on, you know, the money you have, what you're willing to do, how big you want your collection, all those things, I hope that this video can maybe help you in knowing what I feel like is really worth the money in my collection at the moment. And there might be bottles that I really love. Like I love having a big collection. I like having variety. I think of it like a little apothecary shop, you know, like I love that shit. But if you are more like, I want ones, I'm gonna get those dents in, these are the ones I'm getting the dents in. These are the ones that I would suggest and like am wearing. Like you meet me on the street, I'm wearing one of these probably. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. And of course, I'll see you in the next video. I'll see you next Sunday. And I hope you're good till then. Bye.